Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Yellowstone. Why leaving Montana would have been a risky ending for Beth and Rip. It would have been fun to see Beth, Kelly Riley, and Rip Kohlhauser turn over a new leaf and start a fresh life outside Big Sky Country in Yellowstone. But the couple remains shackled to Montana despite Case, Luke Grimes, selling the Dutton family's heirloom ranch. In the Yellowstone Season 5 finale, Case sells the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch to the Broken Rock tribe. The decision relinquishes Beth from the burden of protecting her father's, Kevin Costner, treasured legacy, and she is free to move onto a ranch in Dillon, Montana, with Rip and Carter, Finn Little, and begin a new era. Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 14, sees Beth, Rip, and Carter get settled on their slice of Montana at the end of the outing. The couple has 7,000 acres of deeded land and another 20 in a Bureau of Land Management lease, where Beth supposes her husband can run around 600 pairs of cattle. The land is 40 miles west of Dillon, without a tourist site, and has a breathtaking 360-degree view of the mountains. It has all the things the couple loved about Texas when Yellowstone Season 5 flashed back to their trip there. In Yellowstone Season 3, Beth and Rip's relationship takes off. Beth finally asks her dad if she can marry Rip and is ecstatic about the development. However, the ranch hand's complicated legal history surfaces during this time, and Rip tells Beth that he can't go to a courthouse and get married because no record of him exists. While Beth is happy to have a ceremony at the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch that is void of most formalities, although she kidnaps a priest, Rip's undocumented status could still cause the couple hurdles, especially if they decide to leave Montana. The community is familiar with Rip and the other Yellowstone Dutton Ranch employees, but things could get riskier for Rip if he leaves Montana. While Beth and Rip could forge papers to cement Rip's existence, it makes sense for the couple to lie low anyway. Beth also kills Jamie in the Yellowstone Season 5 finale, and while there's no suspicion from the authorities so far, it wouldn't be a great look for Jamie's last contact to flee the state. Yellowstone doesn't explain precisely why Rip is undocumented, but the Beth and Rip Yellowstone spin-off could fill in the blanks. The spin-off will show Beth and Rip's first years outside life on the Yellowstone Ranch, and it will be the first time that Rip has existed anywhere but on the Dutton family's massive land plot, the largest contiguous ranch in the United States in years. Rip's undocumented status could still cause issues for the couple in the spinoff, regardless of the couple staying in Montana. Rip previously had thousands of acres to traverse at the ranch, without explaining who he was to anyone. He earned a paycheck without providing legal information he would have had to elsewhere, but lost that privilege when Beth lost the ranch. The two things that will affect Rip the most in the spinoff are existing outside the ranch and John Dutton IE's death. When Rip traveled outside the ranch before, he was always in a Yellowstone Dutton Ranch truck that protected him from many forms of law enforcement. While some officers may still know Rip, he won't get the same treatment without the ranch's brand and his connections to John. Trivial elements like bank accounts and licenses will become tricky for Rip if he doesn't straighten out his status before the Beth and Rip Yellowstone spinoff. Enjoy Screen Rant's primetime coverage? Click below to sign up for our weekly Network TV newsletter. Make sure to check Network TV in your preferences and get the inside scoop from actors and showrunners on your favorite series. The Paramount Network's Yellowstone has captivated audiences with its intense drama, complex characters, and unyielding ties to the rugged landscapes of Montana. Among its most beloved characters are Beth Dutton and Rip Wheeler, whose tumultuous love story has been a cornerstone of the series. But what if, in a daring twist, Beth and Rip had decided to leave Montana? Such a decision would not only redefine their arcs, but also pose significant risks to the thematic core of Yellowstone. Montana, with its sprawling ranches and untamed wilderness, is more than just a backdrop for Yellowstone. It is a character in its own right. The land represents legacy, struggle, and identity for the Dutton family. For Beth and Rip, leaving Montana would be akin to severing their connection to the show's central ethos. The Duttons' fierce battle to preserve their ranch is rooted in their deep bond with the land. For Beth, a departure from Montana would symbolize a relinquishment of her family's legacy, something she has fought tooth and nail to protect. Rip, who has found redemption and purpose on the Dutton Ranch, would similarly face an identity crisis if he were to abandon the place that gave him a second chance. Beth Dutton is a force of nature. Her sharp wit, unrelenting determination, and profound loyalty to her family have defined her character throughout the series. She is not merely a businesswoman or a sister. She is a warrior, fighting to secure the future of her father's empire. Leaving Montana would undermine everything Beth stands for. Her battles against corporate greed, political corruption, and personal demons are all intrinsically tied to the Dutton Ranch. By stepping away, Beth risks losing the very essence of who she is. Rip Wheeler, on the other hand, embodies loyalty and resilience. As a ranch hand turned enforcer for John Dutton, Rip has forged a life of purpose on the ranch. The land and its lifestyle have shaped him into the man he is today. Rip's love for Beth and his unwavering commitment to the Dutton family are intertwined with his role on the ranch. To leave Montana would strip Rip of his grounding force, leaving him adrift in a world that may not understand or value his unyielding code of honor. One of the most significant risks of relocating Beth and Rip away from Montana would be the loss of their narrative's authenticity. The couple's love story is deeply rooted in the rugged, unforgiving terrain of the Dutton Ranch. The Montana landscape mirrors their relationship, wild, untamed, and enduring. Transplanting their story to a different setting, whether a bustling city or a tranquil suburb, would dilute the raw intensity that defines their bond. Their love thrives in adversity, and Montana provides the perfect crucible for their passion. Furthermore, leaving Montana would disrupt the interconnected web of relationships and conflicts that drive Yellowstone's narrative. The Dutton family struggles are not isolated. They are deeply enmeshed in the broader power dynamics of the region. Beth and Rip play pivotal roles in these dynamics, serving as both protectors and agitators. Their departure would create a void, weakening the show's ability to explore themes of loyalty, sacrifice, and survival in the face of relentless opposition. From a storytelling perspective, removing Beth and Rip from Montana risks alienating the show's fan base. Yellowstone's appeal lies in its ability to transport viewers to a world where tradition clashes with progress, and morality is painted in shades of gray. The Dutton Ranch is the beating heart of this world, and Beth and Rip are among its most vital characters. A move away from Montana would not only jar the audience, but also undermine the thematic coherence that has made Yellowstone a cultural phenomenon. The practical challenges of such a decision cannot be ignored either. Beth and Rip are not equipped for a conventional life away from the ranch. Beth's fierce independence and sharp tongue make her an ill fit for polite society, while Rip's rugged demeanor and unrelenting work ethic are better suited to branding cattle than navigating office politics. Their shared history of trauma and resilience has shaped them into individuals who thrive in the chaos of ranch life. Removing them from this environment would force them into roles that feel inauthentic and contrived. Moreover, the emotional toll of leaving Montana would weigh heavily on both characters. Beth's fierce loyalty to her father, John Dutton, and her unyielding commitment to preserving his legacy are central to her identity. To leave Montana would mean abandoning her father in his time of need, a betrayal that would haunt her. Rip, who has found a sense of belonging and purpose on the ranch, would grapple with feelings of displacement and loss. Their love for each other, while strong, might not be enough to sustain them in a world that feels foreign and unwelcoming.